Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Batman.
Now let's start the show.
Thank you.
What's the deal with Mace Windu being dead? It's like any Star Wars character being actually dead with the ground. Okay, so I'm not saying I love Mace Windu. They didn't do jack fuck with him in the prequels, right? I'm not pretending like I give a fuck about the character of Mace Windu. But I think they have room to do cool shit with him. Especially as like a standalone thing later, okay? Right? Like, or maybe tied into something, I don't know. But like, you have him like, I know what you're thinking right now. Because you're thinking like, what do you mean? He clearly died. He's clearly dead. Okay? And it's like, I see what you're saying. I hear you. But fucking expertly making that not be in the frame anymore. You didn't see that. Look, okay, so yeah, he got force lightning out a window at the top of a really tall building, so you're like, oh, obviously he would have died from that. But like, okay, like, it's not like where we saw like Darth Vader get like burned in a funeral fire, okay? Like, keep in mind that, you know, like, both Obi-Wan and Anakin jumped off of cars in the free fall and they fell onto other hover cars. And they were apparently fine when they did it because the Force or whatever. In that very city, keep in mind that fucking Emperor Palpatine comes back, even though he fell down a huge pit and had a huge fucking lightning explosion happen. I guess he's okay. We even canonically have Darth Maul, who got cut in fucking half and tossed down a bottomless pit. He lived. He was okay. So, like, who's to say that Mace Windu couldn't survive a little bit of lightning flying out a window? I think it's very plausible. It's more plausible, honestly, than either fucking Palpatine or the fucking Darth Maul. Right? And so, like, what I'm saying is you bring out Mace Windu, he's got to go into hiding because whatever the signal thing they put out, like, everyone should go hide. And then you have him become, like, a crabby old dude. You can have Samuel L. Jackson do more, whatever, something more, like, with the character that he could do. You write it a little bit more for him. I mean, he's probably not going to be throwing around F-bombs or N-bombs out there in your Star Wars movie, but, you know, he'll be a little bit, you know, grouchier, he'll be a bit more gruff, and, like, I think that would be kind of an interesting thing, and, like, you know, maybe have some kind of thing of, like, I don't know, is he helping people do stuff? There's a lot of things you could go, a lot of ways you could go with that, but, like, you put out Windu, Mace Windu the movie, a Star Wars story, Windu, like, what would Windu do? A Star Wars story. You throw that stuff out there, and it's like, I think you could do something with him. And I think that because there's so little that has to be tied to anything, too, you could do something kind of neat. I'm not saying they should do that. I'm not saying that even necessarily if they decided to do that it would be anything good. But I'm just wondering why does it feel like this isn't even on the table? Like, nobody's like, yeah, maybe we could do something with Mace Windu. Yeah. Nobody's, like, really trying to do that, and I don't know why, because it's like, you have this character who, you know, like, I mean, Darth Maul got brought back. Nobody gave two fucks about Darth Maul. He was the Sith guy that had to be a thing for the Jedi to be threatened by and beat. That was his whole purpose. People like General Grievous, he's just a robot that has lightsabers. Like, I don't know, like, I just think that there's stuff you could do with Mace Windu as a character that maybe didn't die. And then he came back and you're like, oh, like, you know, I think that you just have him do other weird shit. You know, just be like, I'm not doing Jedi, you know, I just don't want to do that anymore. I don't know, you could do stuff with him. I just think it's just weird that we don't have some weird campaign of like, or even like the conspiracy thing of like, is Mace Windu? Everyone seems to really accept it. Like, no, he's dead. Of course, he got force lightning out a window. Of course, he's dead. Like, well, Darth Maul lived because he had a whole bunch of hatred. I know he was chopped in half, but the lightsaber cauterized the wound, and he had so much hatred that they put a spider as part of his body, so he lived. Or like fucking like, oh yeah, well of course, like fucking. Palpatine lived because he's like the most evilest Sith guy ever to ever be evil. So of course he uses the dark side or whatever, and is just to cheated death, and he's alive now still. Because whatever, but why not? And honestly, if they hadn't already had Vader turn good again and burn him in a fire, they probably would bring Vader. But let's be honest, they would have brought Vader back if they could have. They really couldn't justify some dumb dipshit way of bringing it back to life. So like, we better let Vader stay. We'll still show his helmet and stuff. But we'll let Vader, we gotta leave Vader dead, okay? We can't touch that. So we gotta do something. And, I don't know, I'm just saying, give Mace Windu a chance, Give Mace Windu a chance. Why can't we do that? I mean, other than it's stupid and no one cares. Why not? It's Star Wars. Nobody gives a shit anymore. Fuck it. With the ground.